Hey guys. On October 17th of 2025, news dropped from the Clear Obscure team listing multiple planned updates for the game. A specific update triggered a lot of backlash from the Arabic gaming community on Twitter. This update was so infuriating to the Arabic community on Twitter, some wanted to boycott buying the game altogether, saying the game is unplayable to them.
Hello at Sandfall Games. Here I'm speaking on behalf of all the Arab Expedition 33 fans. We are not asking, we are ordering that the Arabic language be added to the game. I give you 30 days deadline. If our demands are not met, we will boycott your game and play Xenoblade 3.
Others speculated on why this update discriminates against Arabs altogether and called the developers racist, especially that the developer came out multiple days after the update announcing that the studio is already working on another game.
Officially, the Claire Obscure Expedition 33 racist game studio has started developing their new game. Guillaume, the director of the studio, says, "We've started working on the new title, and we have a lot of diverse ideas that will appeal to the audience." The studio added that they don't want to expand the studio further. They prefer to maintain their current style.
The specific statement in the update that caused this chaos is the following. New text and UI game localizations into Czech, Ukrainian, Latin American Spanish, Turkish, Vietnamese, Thai, and Indonesian, bringing the total number of supported languages to 19. Some of these angry Twitter posts included this one, which there's a guy called Loai replying to another guy, while the other guy stating they abandoned the Arabs, laughing. Guys, go learn English and relax instead of giving yourself a headache every time a game comes out asking for Arabic translation. The other guy is replying to him saying, I swear I know English and yet I want Arabic. It's the basic right to my language if I'm paying money for it. Why should I pay for the game while others are paying the same price and they get their language and I don't? Man, some of them even get dubbed. Plus Arabic changes the experience 180 degrees. Another post mentioning the game saying, this game has way too many fans in the Arab world to ignore, but it can reach even new heights if you add Arabic localization, tagging the developer in the process. The comparison posts were particularly eye-catching where the game was compared to much smaller indie games that have Arabic localizations in posts such as these. A guy called Faisal mentioning, you guys have the game Maquette, a nice puzzle game from an indie developer who made one game in his life according to his team. His game supported the Arabic language from day one. I remember when it just came out, the text was reversed. I contacted them with a simple tweet on Twitter and they fixed it with an update. The localization was good. Whoever wants to localize their game should just localize without demands and excuses and empty talk, referring to, of course, Sandfall Games. He later quote tweets this tweet saying, people are upset why a game developer pulls one over on Arab players and why there is no Arabic localizations and they're all one person coming up with excuses. Indie game developer made 5 games in his life with his breakfast budget, referring to another indie game that has Arabic localization of interface and subtitles. This reaction from the developer was despite multiple posts on Steam community page and the game's subreddit that have requested the game's Arabic localization for months, like this post on the Steam community page stating, we need Arabic. We need the Arabic language. I would like to ask the developers to add Arabic to the game. This will contribute to spreading the game in the Gulf region among the massive Arab gaming community. Over the years, the Arab gaming community has grown significantly and Arabic localization has become a key demand for them. Localizing the game will help in promoting it and increasing its sales across various regions of the world. I would also like to point out that Arabic is one of the most widely spoken languages in the world, so kindly consider adding Arabic to the game. And of course you have a racist in the comment section saying, I don't know man, women are allowed to talk in this game. Wouldn't it be a bit of an oxymoron to have Arabic in the game? Like, okay bro, fuck off. But this actually leads me to the core of the problem, and in order to find out what the core of the problem is, we need to find out whether Arabic localization has been disproportionately lacking in video games, and if it is, why is that, and what can be done to make Arabic-speaking gamers satisfied. Well, in order to answer this question, we need some data. In order to get this data, I have chosen Steam as my target platform to verify how many games are in Arabic. So after narrowing it down to games that have Arabic as a language, we can see there are around 6,300 games. These are games that have Arabic either as an interface language or for subtitles or for full audio. Let's now pull up other languages to put things into perspective. So let's see English, which is obviously the most popular language for video games, at least in the Western world due to its global popularity. There are around 140,000 games in English on Steam, so it makes sense in comparison to Arabic that has 6,300. Now let's take some European languages. So Bulgarian has around 5,000 games, German has around 35,000 games, same with French, Czech has about 7,000 games, and Danish has around 6,000 games. So Arabic falls around the Czech, Danish, and has slightly more games than Bulgarian. Let's now take a look at the number of speakers for each of these languages. There are approximately 320 million French speakers worldwide and 130 to 220 million German speakers. Seeing how there are around 35k games in each of these languages, that makes sense. So now let's take a look at the other ones. Danish has 6 million speakers, Bulgarian has 12 million, 10 million for Czech, and Arabic speakers are just around 422 million. So obviously the number of games, if we were only to take the number of games as a metric, is severely disproportionate to the number of speakers. But what if we take spending power as a metric? Well, the number of native Arabic speakers around the world is around 380 million. The population of the Persian Gulf countries, which have good GDP and good spending power, is around 57 million. That's still more than double of the number of Bulgarian, Danish, and Czech speakers combined. So obviously the problem is not really the spending power. And to really hammer that point home, Brazil has a population of 212 million, and there are around 21,000 games in Brazilian Portuguese on Steam. This is almost half of the Arabic population, having 3 times the number of games. So it seems that Arabic is lacking in video games in comparison to other languages, but why is that? Arabs on the internet would often default into easy explanations as to why Arabic as a language is neglected so much in the gaming industry. They would often default to a simple explanation such as racism or Islamophobia, as largely Westerners cannot tell the difference between Arabs and Muslims. Other more intricate explanations include things like the lack of spending power in many Arabic countries, or things like player behavior that simply cannot just be changed. Most of the Arabs I know only play games like FIFA and GTA, just enormous games that take up all of their time and don't really leave room to explore other games. But I just don't think that is true. Yes, I would say most Arab gamers that I know mostly play FIFA or GTA Online or some free-to-play game, but I think it's a chicken and egg situation. See, I don't think Arab gamers take up these games because they were exposed to enough adequate games for them to explore and they deliberately chose those games, but rather they didn't find much else to try out, and these games were just the ones that they could teach to each other. You see, when I lived in my home country, Egypt, for a while, everyone just knew how to play FIFA. Nobody could read the instructions, but we had the equivalent of cyber cafes, and it was just a bunch of rooms with PlayStations where people go and play against each other. I didn't learn how to play FIFA through playing the tutorial and experiencing the game at home on my own, but rather through friends who have just memorized what every controller and UI button does, telling me how to play the game. This creates some sort of a barrier between Arab players generally and other video games. And this barrier to entry has been rarely broken, mostly with Arab players who just don't know English. A while ago I saw an Egyptian YouTuber mention he plays a game called Ghost of Tsushima, and I remember pausing the video and going to check whether the game had Arabic or not, which it does. This guy is a very average Arab guy, doesn't know much English, and the majority of his speaking and listening is done in Arabic. Pretty much all of the media he consumes is in Arabic. And this, although largely insufficient evidence to most, kind of led me to this conclusion. But what is still stopping studios from localizing more games into Arabic? Well, it's a mix of multiple reasons. Let's just start with the technical ones. You see, Arabic is a cursive language. This means that all of the letters get connected to each other when written. And most of the software generally used to display text is not equipped to handle cursive languages in general, leading to mistakes such as this. This screenshot is actually from the game Makad that was mentioned above in the tweet earlier in the video. But this is one technical hurdle that needs to be fixed when localizing games into Arabic. Another one is having the text displayed like this picture here, but having it displayed in reverse. See, Arabic, unlike statistically the languages you are familiar with, is written from right to left instead of left to right. So if you look at the picture here, for example, this text is displayed left to right as such. Camille's name is supposed to be written as الروح البعيدة as such, from right to left, with the letters connected. These technical difficulties, as well as mostly expected stylistic changes such as UI mirroring to match the right to left aspect of the language, are some of the technical hurdles that make it more resource consuming to choose to localize to Arabic. In addition to the technical problems, some non-technical problems exist as well. A major one, especially for subtitles and audio, is what dialect to choose. Now, in order to explain this, I need to briefly explain Arabic dialects and modern standard Arabic. So Arabic has a ton of dialects. Inside each Arab country, there are tons of different dialects spanning the entirety of the Arab world from the ocean to the Gulf. Historically, things like Disney movies were dubbed into Egyptian Arabic, but that turned out to be controversial later on in many other Arab countries, especially Gulf countries. So now all of these movies are either getting dubbed into multiple dialects where every character speaks a dialect, or into modern standard Arabic or MSA. MSA is understood by everyone but spoken by no one, and it's sort of a middle ground that everyone disgruntledly agrees on. But I, as an Egyptian, think Egyptian dialect is the best. I think it has a certain charm to it. I played the entirety of Detroit Become Human dubbed in Egyptian Arabic, and it was glorious. MSA is okay. It's featured appropriately in Assassin's Creed Mirage, which takes place in historical Baghdad, and is as close as you're gonna get to how they spoke back then, which is amazing. But then Ubisoft disappointed us again and didn't have Arabic dubbing for Assassin's Creed Shadows, which was, very disappointing. But to conclude, there's something to be done depending on who you are and what you can do. You can simply boycott the games that do not have Arabic, and not just on your own. It has to be enough to hurt their pockets and make them listen. If you have any technical knowledge, you can help put resources out there, whether it's about UI design, translation, or even provide technical support for small studios if they desire it. I'm currently trying to work on Arabic localization plugin for Unreal Engine, as I have experience in localization and experience as a developer, but we'll see how that goes. It's not going to be easy. Alright, thanks for watching, everyone. That was a bit of a short one, I guess. I'm not sure. I haven't edited it yet, so let's see how it goes. But thanks for watching. Subscribe.